Dr. Paul Cleveland. I'm with Boundary Stone, and I'm here to try to help you navigate your way through the world that you live in. Now, today I'd like to talk to you about government spending. Our legislature just passed a huge omnibus spending bill, and the president, voicing some reluctance, signed that bill into law. Now, this bill is going to fund the government and stop a government shutdown. But are there any problems with this sort of thing? You know, our government has been spending a whole lot of money every year, year after year. And we've racked up quite a bit of debt, something like $21 trillion worth of debt so far. And this bill is certainly going to add to that. Should we be concerned? Now, one thing I think we ought to note here is that we didn't get to this point overnight, that there's been a process going on for quite some time. And our government's grown by leaps and bounds over the course of our nation's history. And kind of the real fuel for the fire got going all around the turn of the 20th century. And there was a movement afoot called the progressive movement. And the progressive movement was really the socialist movement in America. Of course, socialism wouldn't have sold in America at that time if they'd have called it that. But that's what it was. And behind that was the idea that government could take care of people. Well, that's a bit of a problem. One of the last constitutional presidents we had was Grover Cleveland. And the progressives of his age were pushing for all sorts of new pieces of legislation where the government would provide certain benefits for certain people. And Cleveland kept vetoing these. And he was asked, President Cleveland, why are you vetoing all these bills? And he said, well, when somebody can answer this question for me, maybe I'll relent. If government is to provide for the people, who is to provide for the government? That is an excellent question. You see, government is an institution that is dependent. That in other words, it cannot operate apart from taking money from you. And so think about this. It may be nice that we benefit from certain government programs individually, but how is it going to be beneficial generally for government to take money out of our pockets through income taxes, payroll taxes, and other sorts of taxes, funnel that money into the Treasury in Washington, D.C., create all kinds of programs, and those programs are operated by various agencies and bureaus, and we're going to have to hire people on, so lots of bureaucrats to operate these agencies and bureaus. How is that going to create greater benefits than the amount of wealth that's taken from us in the first place? And moreover, won't whatever is left over be captured by those who are most effective at gaining political power? And how do you gain political power? Well, you organize a lobbying group in Washington, D.C. And now, I don't know about you, but I'm not a member of any of those lobbying groups. And so most of that's going to end up going some other place. It's not going to really come to you. Now, you may get some side benefits here and there, but what you're giving up is worth a whole lot more than what you're getting. So, you know, we really need to begin to think this one through. And really, at the end of the day, you're in need of a re-education, I think. You need to understand how we got here. Well, that's what I do. I'm a professor of economics and finance, and I've studied these things. And so I've gone back and looked at the economic history. One of the books that I published was this one right here. It's Unmasking the Sacred Lies. And in this book, what I do is I go through and I'll walk you through how it is that we got here. We deal with the issues of fiscal policy, taxing and spending. See, and the reason we've gotten into debt is everybody likes the benefits, but nobody wants to pay. And so that's how our national debt has grown. Politicians love to promise the benefits. They don't like to force the payment. And so that's something that has occurred as a result of this. And well, I can talk to you a different time about the debt, but that's been growing. Anyway, I walk you all the way through all these programs. Not all of them, but enough that you get the picture. And so I encourage you to pick up your copy today. You can get it at my website, boundarystein.org, or you can go to Amazon and purchase it as well. And I hope that it provides the resources that you need to be able to engage your culture and to engage your world. Once again, Dr. Paul Cleveland, Boundary Stone. I'll see you next time.